Welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Oklahoma City Board of Adjustment for October 15th, 2015. The first item of business is, I guess first of all I should ask you, if any of you got cell phones, to quiet them while we're proceeding. First order of business is to receive the minutes of the October 1st meeting.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to receive the minutes of the October 1st, 2015 meeting. Please cast your votes. And they are received. Second item would be a request for continuances or withdrawals. Are there any from staff? Any from the public or the applicants? None. Hearing none, we'll move on. There's not a consent docket listed on the agenda for today, so we'll start with items requiring separate votes.
Item 1, case number 14131, request of St. Luke's Church for a variance to permit an entrance canopy, shade structures, playground equipment, and a boardwalk encroaching the front building setback at 222 Northwest 15th Street.
Is the applicant present? Would you come to the microphone, please, and give us your name and address?
Mike Satong, 3128 Northwest 20th Street.
And tell us about your application, please.
We are proposing to remodel the existing playground at St. Luke's Methodist Church, and what we'd like to add are some shade structures and a awning at the front door so that we could then provide shade and cover for parishioners, children, and teachers that are outside quite a bit. And part of our issue is that the entire church is within the setback. And so we are requesting that we can put some of these elements, the vertical elements within that setback, and allow us to do some of those things, because the setback, again, does go all the way past the church. And the right-of-way is very, very wide. It's a 100-foot right-of-way along 14th Street, so that hinders any real development on that south end for the church, and they are pretty squeezed on space. This does not fall within the HP district, so we didn't have to go through those steps. So we'd like to request a variance so that we could upgrade their facilities.
I note that you have already received your revocable permit for the encroachment in the right-of-way.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
Is there anybody in the audience who would like to speak to this matter? If not, members of the board?
I just have one question on it. The
Yes, sir.
awning that you're going to bring off that south entrance, I don't have a drawing of that or an illustration. Can you point it out on this one that we do have?
Yes, if you, it's not labeled there, and I do have a set of drawings if you'd like to see it.
Oh, that's what that.
And it goes to the right-of-way line. We don't want to take it past the right-of-way line, not to encroach into that, just the setback.
Got it.
And I do have a set of architectural drawings if you'd like to look at them.
Do I understand that they will match the ones along Harvey?
Yes, ma'am. That's right. There are two existing ones that have been upgraded in the past, I think 5 years maybe. Just the decking has been redone. They would be exactly the same as those. In fact, this one may be a bit shorter, but the look would be the same.
Unless there's an objection, I'd make a motion to approve the application.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second to approve the application. Please cast your votes.
Okay, thank you.
Item 2, case 14132, request of Skyline Trails Land Fund for a variance to permit a neighborhood identification sign in the street median located at 424 North Cemetery Road.
Good afternoon, David Box, 522 Colcord Drive, here on behalf of the applicant, James Ryder with Ideal Homes, also here with me. Our application today is for a variance for a sign within the median. I believe you have the renderings of the sign. What we have, the actual square footage of the sign display area, if you calculate it, is 10 square feet, but the way the code reads, you actually calculate a bigger portion, there it is, than the actual sign. You're actually calculating some of the stone as signage. So what's allowed by code is 18 square feet. We're at 9 square feet. We are only 4 feet tall, as the code requires. When we look at these signs in the medians, the concern obviously is sight and whether or not they would create an obstruction. One of the exhibits you should have in your packet right there, Cindy. As you can see, we're set back certainly far enough from the right-of-way so as to not create any sort of sideline obstruction. Staff has not identified any unfavorable considerations, and we'd ask for your approval.
You say 9 feet? Application says 19 feet.
19. The actual square footage, if you measured and calculated just the portion, that is the display area, it's 10 square feet, but the way the code interprets it, it's actually measured at 19, and the code allows 18 square feet.
And I understand from staff that if this same sign were attached to an existing entryway wall, it would be measuring just the portion of the sign. But because they're constructing the wall on which to put the sign, a larger area is being measured here. Is there anybody in the audience who wishes to be heard on this matter? If not, members of the board?
I'd move approval.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second for approval of the item. Would you cast your votes, please?
Thank you.
The item is approved. Item number 3.
Item 3, case number 14134, request of David and Adrienne Husted for a variance to permit a garage with a flat parapet roof in lieu of a hip or gable roof at 5428 Brookhaven Place.
Hi, your name and
I'm
address.
Erin Smith. My address is 30 Northeast 2nd Street, Suite 3.
And tell us about your application.
I represent the owner, Adrian and David Husted. I'm the architect on the project. My husband and I own the general contracting company who's going to build the project. It's a renovation of an existing mid-century modern house. It was built in the 50s. We are adding a second floor and a small, about 1,000 square feet off the north end of the house, and then a detached 2-story garage. And as you can see from the rendering, there's a flat roof. The existing house had a combination of flat and parapet roofs, and we're just asking to be able to build the garage with a parapet that matches the new house, as well as the houses that are in that neighborhood. It's kind of a pocket in Brookhaven of mid-century houses. So that's what we're requesting.
JJ, what's the purpose of requiring a pitched roof?
You want me to answer?
It's for the exact reason that they're here. It was intended for accessory buildings to have a roof pitch to match the house. And when the ordinance was written, of course, 99% of the homes in Oklahoma City have hip or gable roofs. So it really wasn't contemplated that contemporary or mid-century modern homes, you didn't really even think about it. So they're really trying to do exactly what the ordinance was intended to do.
Is there anyone here that is going to speak in objection to the application?
Apparently not.
I would move approval.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second to approve the application. Please cast your votes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. That concludes the business on the agenda. Do we have any items from members of the board?
I actually have one thing, believe it or not. So we have had 2 cases recently about building within the AE overlay zone that is around Tinker Air Force Base. And the curiosity got the better of me. I'm just going to pass out some light reading on the matter from the perspective of the some things that the base has published, along with something that was done in cooperation with a lot of municipalities surrounding the base, or the municipality surrounding the base, and the Department of Defense. I would just encourage you all to look at this. It gives you a perspective there. What bothered me about those cases is that we really didn't have the perspective of Tinker in considering that, and there's this meld there between local politics and local zoning and ordinances and what's going on at a higher level than that. So I would just encourage you guys to look at this. I found it very fascinating, along with a map I'm going to pass out with that as well. So just for review.
Anybody else? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second to adjourn. Please cast your votes. We are adjourned.